Once upon a time, in a magical forest called Whispering Woods, there lived a little rabbit named Hoppy. Hoppy had soft white fur, long floppy ears, and the most adorable pink nose that twitched whenever he was excited or curious. Hoppy loved to hop around the forest, exploring every nook and cranny. He had built his cozy burrow under an old oak tree, where he kept his collection of colorful pebbles and special leaves. One sunny morning, Hoppy woke up earlier than usual. The golden sunlight was streaming through the small windows of his burrow, and birds were singing their morning songs. "What a beautiful day," Hoppy exclaimed, stretching his little paws. "I think I'll go on an adventure today." Hoppy packed a small bag with some carrots and blueberries for lunch and hopped out of his burrow. The morning dew made the grass sparkle like tiny diamonds, and butterflies danced around the wildflowers. As Hoppy hopped along the forest path, he heard strange noises coming from above. He looked up and saw something moving quickly through the trees. Before he could figure out what it was, something fell right in front of him with a loud thump. "Ouch," said a voice. That didn't go as planned. Hoppy was startled to see a monkey with brown fur and a long tail, rubbing his bottom after the fall. "Hello there. I'm Hoppy," said the rabbit, approaching cautiously. "Are you okay?" The monkey jumped up and dusted himself off. "I'm Jumpy. Nice to meet you." "And yes, I'm fine. I was just practicing my new swinging technique, but I guess I need more practice." Jumpy was known throughout the forest for his incredible ability to swing from tree to tree. He wore a small red bandana around his neck and had the most mischievous smile. "I've never seen you in this part of the forest before," Hoppy said, offering Jumpy a carrot. "I'm actually new here," Jumpy explained, gratefully accepting the carrot. "I moved from the banana grove on the other side of the river. I wanted to explore new places and make new friends." Hoppy's ears perked up with excitement. "Well, you've made your first friend already. Would you like to join me on my adventure today?" Jumpy's eyes lit up. "I'd love to." "Where are we going?" "I heard about a magical waterfall called Rainbow Falls," Hoppy explained. "They say if you visit it when the sun is at its highest point, you can see all the colors of the rainbow in the water, and sometimes, if you're really lucky, you might even find a treasure." "A treasure?" "Count me in," Jumpy exclaimed, doing a little flip in excitement. And so, the new friends set off together toward Rainbow Falls. Hoppy hopped along the ground, while Jumpy swung from tree to tree above him. As they traveled deeper into the forest, the trees grew taller and the undergrowth became thicker. Colorful flowers bloomed everywhere, and friendly forest creatures greeted them along the way. After walking for some time, they came to a wide stream. The water flowed gently, and they could see little fish swimming beneath the surface. "Oh no," Hoppy said, his nose twitching with worry. "I can't swim across this stream. It's too wide for me to hop over." Jumpy scratched his head, thinking. Then his face brightened with an idea. "I know. I can swing us both across. There's a strong vine right there." Hoppy looked unsure. "Are you certain it's safe?" "Trust me," Jumpy said with a confident smile. "I'm an expert swinger." Hoppy climbed onto Jumpy's back, holding tight to his fur. Jumpy grabbed the vine, took a deep breath, and swung across the stream. They landed safely on the other side. "That was amazing," Hoppy cheered, his heart racing with excitement. "I've never traveled that way before." Jumpy took a bow. "At your service, my friend." They continued their journey, helping each other along the way. When they reached a field of tall grass that Jumpy couldn't swing through, Hoppy showed him the best way to navigate through it. When they encountered a steep hill, Jumpy helped Hoppy climb up by finding the easiest path. By midday, they heard the distant sound of rushing water. "We must be getting close to Rainbow Falls," Hoppy said excitedly. They hurried toward the sound, and soon they emerged from the trees into a clearing. There before them was the most beautiful waterfall they had ever seen. The water cascaded down from a high cliff, creating a misty spray at the bottom. And just as the stories had said, with the sun directly overhead, the mist created a perfect rainbow that arched across the pool below. "It's even more beautiful than I imagined," Hoppy whispered in awe. "Look at those colors," Jumpy exclaimed. "Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet." They approached the edge of the pool, mesmerized by the beauty of the rainbow. As they watched, something glinted beneath the surface of the water. "Did you see that?" Hoppy asked, pointing to the spot. "I did," Jumpy replied. "Do you think it could be the treasure?" They peered into the clear water and saw something shiny resting on a rock at the bottom of the pool. It wasn't too deep, but it was definitely out of Hoppy's reach. "I can get it," Jumpy offered, He carefully climbed down to the water's edge, reached in with his long arm, and grabbed the shiny object. When he pulled it out, they saw it was a beautiful crystal that reflected all the colors of the rainbow. The rainbow crystal, Hoppy gasped. I've heard stories about it. They say it brings friendship and happiness to whoever finds it together. Jumpy held the crystal between them, and it sparkled with all the colors of the rainbow. Then it belongs to both of us, he said with a smile. They sat by the waterfall, sharing the rest of Hoppy's carrots and blueberries, talking and laughing like old friends. They decided that the real treasure wasn't the crystal at all, it was the friendship they had found. As the sun began to set, they knew it was time to head back home. But before they left, they made a promise to meet again the next day for another adventure. On their journey back, they took turns carrying the rainbow crystal. When Hoppy held it, he felt brave enough to try swinging on a vine with Jumpy. When Jumpy held it, he discovered he could hop almost as high as Hoppy. By the time they reached Hoppy's burrow, the stars were beginning to appear in the sky. They placed the rainbow crystal on a special shelf in Hoppy's home, where it continued to sparkle with all the colors of the rainbow. Thank you for the adventure, Hoppy, Jumpy said. I've never had such a wonderful day. Thank you for being my friend, Jumpy, Hoppy replied. I can't wait for our next adventure together. And from that day on, Hoppy the rabbit and Jumpy the monkey became the best of friends. They went on many more adventures together, discovering new places in the Whispering Woods, and helping other animals along the way. But no matter how many adventures they had or how many new friends they made, they always remembered that their friendship began with a chance meeting, a shared adventure, and the magical rainbow falls. And whenever they looked at their rainbow crystal, they were reminded that the greatest treasure of all is a true friend who accepts you just as you are.